As everyone knows, Realm of the Mad God is a game that continues to attract many players, seeking to relive nostalgic moments each year. Since Deca Games acquired the game, we have seen a number of changes, including constant updates and improvements to the quality of life for both new and experienced players. However, a persistent issue continues to trouble the community, sparking scattered debates and calls for action from the company. Today we'll delve into a dark topic known as game cheating, on its current forms. The Realm of the Mad God game has been owned by several companies, including Kabam. I still remember how the game was neglected by company's administration, and very few content updates were released to the community. Old players like Rahaziel, in a conversation that I had with him, mentioned that back then the game contents were limited to doing tomes of ancients and chapters. This comment represents for me one of the darkest periods of rotmg, as the game I loved so much was in a precarious state and could have been discontinued at any time. We can also highlight Silver Dollar's comment about this period experience within the game.
No one ever, like, they've had major balancing issues, right? And no one's ever addressed the issue that everyone's like OP now and runs around in huge
That's
groups,
always been like a
so-
major problem. That's been such a huge problem with the game just not being fun. Just like you see an event spawn, you're able to maybe get there and hit it once and it's already gone.
Yeah, so maybe they'll really do something about notifiers or something like that.
The lack of content and attention from the company's development team encouraged some people in the community to start abusing cheats, which marked the beginning of this era, such as the emergence of the infamous auto-nexus, auto-aim, multibox, and other cheat-related features. The manipulation of code changes to the game itself by cheaters was in that very simple and accessible, as the game is still run on the defunct and discontinued Flash player. This information allowed users with little expertise to make modifications without much difficulty, but luckily something big was coming. According to information from the rotmg website, the company officially acquired the rotmg game through legal means in July 2016, as announcing on their own website. They stated they would focus on pre-existing issues in the game such as hacks, bots, server stability, lag, and lack of content. We have witnessed these changes over the years, however, we still need to discuss our main topic, which is cheaters. In January 2021, rotmg community content creator Sabtruth, in partnership with BQbox 12, argued about the company's stance on a cheater and its lenience in allowing the cheater to continue playing, as cited in a Discord interview.
I reported myself cheating with another account's point of view. I received a 14-day ban, keeping all my progress listed above. PvE or competitive, this is unacceptable. Deca's judgment system is flawed and allows players to abuse hacks for such a massive benefit that can even be permanent. Exaltations, high fame, items, etc.
First thing I asked was, do you think Deca could do a lot more against cheaters?
Yes, Deca has a lot of options now with the arrival of Exalt/Unity. Many things can be passively done to combat cheaters, even heavy things such as hard fixes and a possible anti-cheat.
What could they do that they're not doing?
A stronger stance on cheating. This is a permadeath game. Anyone who can bypass this should have their characters wiped on the first offense or strike. Just makes sense. Should you be able to rob a bank, do the time, then keep the money? No. Implement an anti-cheat or detection. Make using cheats a risk. Deca explicitly stated it would be harder for players to cheat in Exalt, but that doesn't seem to show. Yet. Anyone who dares to cheat has the actual risk of being caught. This reduces the amount of high fame and exalted characters being achieved illegitimately. If this existed, I would never have gotten so far on my experimental account, and ultimately high-end game accounts would be phased out if they attempt to cheat. Use nothing but a player's IGN to detect if they're cheating. Deca should be able to prove on their own end if someone is using hacks, and promptly take action without video evidence. Also, fix boating, ghost realms, and other types of cheats.
If they have been lacking action, do you think that it is mostly due to a lack of awareness, lack of care, or something else?
I believe Deca is aware that cheating is a problem in their game, and they do not lack care, but the resources to take action. Exalt has been out for 3 months, and most of their developers have been creating seasonal content such as rotmg and Oryxmas. I can understand the lack of action, things take time. But customer support and the people who review cheater evidence should be able to do more. Previously stated above, Deca they can, be able to identify if someone is cheating with nothing but their IGN. There is no reason to be lacking this much. Also, customer support has been manipulated so many times. Introduction of the new vault resulted in items disappearing. Players could write a convincing lie with photoshopped evidence and get free items. I didn't get any of my event whites as a drop. I just asked Deca for them and received it. Many other players abuse this. Also, fame-exploited characters are sometimes manipulated into being restored, but that's much harder to do. A great example of the power of AutoNexus is this account called Japan with 4 N's. Look at his fame history. 5 stars, no deaths. This type of person could be stopped and character wiped. This shouldn't be able to happen on a fresh account.
Even today, we continue to hear cheaters using the same fallacy and argumentation, as cited on his Reddit post. Browsing the platform, we have a comment from a player named Distractix. Another report is from this user also on the rotmg subreddit about the frustration about the current state of the game and this post. The extent of cheating. Recently, I started consistently doing hard mode shatters. Because of that, I was forced to verify myself on both MaxF as well as Azimuth, to even dream about running this dungeon semi-regularly. Besides this Discord being the most toxic communities know, to mankind they are riddled with cheaters. What you realize once they verify you on these servers is that cheating is the norm. People don't hide it. People expect you to cheat. When I say cheating is the norm, I don't exaggerate. I have counted that 60% of the guys on sniffers are on the cheaters list. Those are just the guys we know that are cheating. More probably do. There is practically no way to avoid cheaters today. Go to any endgame or free Discord sniffer channel and look at the nicks on the top 10 positions. Then check for them in the list. I guarantee you find at least 3 known cheaters every time. Now the best part of this entire ordeal is the fact that the aforementioned Discord servers regularly took at the sniffer to parse players with a bad DPS from the runs, trying to compete with the guys who blatantly AutoNexus and autofire is not feasible. They create this weird community where players who are not gods are forced to cheat in order not to get kicked. Despite that, they will suspend you for even mentioning they cheat religiously. Now, if you think this is a problem exclusive to endgame discords, you will be surprised. Lost House discords employ so many blatant cheaters as raid leaders. It's just sad. Nowadays, when I see a good player, he's more than like cheating. I don't know any game with a hacking problem this bad. It's the list of hackers compiled by the anti-cheater Discord. One of the moderators of the rotmg subreddit and also of the game comments on this post. He also briefly explained his frustration that some members of the community still ignore the fact that using cheats has no connection to the game's official publication. If you're living under a rock and don't know what the new cheats are, they are listed below. Auto dodge, which doesn't just dodge for you, but you can move around as you want and take no damage. Heal aura, up to like 3 tiles, which lets you shoot all your bullets directly on top of enemies, even if you're not on top of them. Multiboxing return, FK farming, using the path/enemy finder, both in the realm/biomes and in dungeons. Also work as a faimbot, socket delay, which DCs you for a couple seconds, letting you stack up damage in one go, or something like that, which bypasses the boss insta-kill protection. Trading any items, including EUTs and shinies, and trade it from regular to seasonal, for matters no one knows, but it does exist. no-clip return, both for projectile and players, and more not as significant things like reconnected, return, and obviously all the old stuff like auto nexus, auto ing, and are still there. Recently, they have done more ban waves and fixed a dupe method, which existed for months, and it still doesn't seem like they have any bigger plans on it. Or it still takes weeks to ban players. Anyone that gets banned can get all their stuff back in a day and then cheat again for weeks. A ban wave even comes out. So now I ask you, when will Deca start working to actually combat these cheaters?